Start, just go right in right now.
We have 3 judges that are going to be listening to your presentation, and we have several committee members here for support, cheering you on. We know you're going to do a great job. So you've got the floor and just take off.
All right. Let me see if I can screen share. Share. Can you see, can everybody see that?
I can.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, our project is Go Vote MCHS, and it's our project proposal. My name is Madeline Drake. That's Margaret Grice, and she'll take it away.
So our mission, the mission of Go Vote MCHS is to encourage Muhlenberg County High School students of voting age to exercise their right to vote in local primary and general elections. In the most recent, Maddie, can you please say this word? I'm sorry.
Gubernatorial. I'm sorry. We've been trying to work on that.
Election, November 5th of 2019, Muhlenberg County's voter turnout was 38.47%. That is 38.47% of the 22,918 registered voters in Muhlenberg County. This means 28.61% of our population voted for our state's governor. In the presidential election of 2016, only 58.6% of our registered voters went to the polls. And our executive director of our 501c3 is Robbie Davis.
And those statistics you'll see later on. I have the citations at the end of this. Our challenge outcome. Hold on, it's my little sidebar that has the cameras is blocking some of my text, which I know in my heart. But the challenge, of course, is in the state of Kentucky. Our voter turnout is between 17 to 24 is 10.6%, and that was as of August 8th, 2019. So that's very sadly low, I guess. Though there is no recorded data of the voter turnout for this age group in our county, it can be reasonably assumed that the percentage is under 10%. This lack of passion for our community and country among our young people is stark and embarrassing. I mean, it makes me ashamed, honestly, of my peers and my age group, that we don't really care about, politics and what goes on in our county and our country as much. And then the outcome that we're trying to pursue is, through our project, we wish to encourage students to vote in both local and national elections. And we hope to educate young voters in how their vote can and will make a difference. Because a lot of people just assume, oh, I'm not going to vote because who cares? It's my one vote will not make a difference, but it really will.
Right. Who will benefit from #GoVoteMCHS? The entire country stands to benefit from increasing youth voting, but Muhlenberg County in particular has a dwindling youth population. Only the youth of the county know what changes need to be made and what people need to be empowered in order to increase that population and prevent our population as a whole from continuing to decrease.
And then we have a little quote from Franklin Roosevelt that says, "We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." And then our execution. Thank you. I love Franklin. I love FDR. We have our execution. So I thought it would be, I guess important to include what our steps were going to be before this pandemic, just so that you would understand what our process of thought was up until, this month really, or last month, I guess. So before COVID-19, our steps were, we were going to contact the school and set up a week where we could set up a booth outside the concession stands. I'm sure all of you have been to West Campus, but there's the commons, and then there's the concession stands, and a lot of booths for different clubs and activities will set up right there. So that's where we were going to set up just a little table with a couple computers, probably me and Maggie and any volunteers we could get, just friends that would help us out. And basically we would ask students to register online through their phones or through one of the computers that we had set up. And it's because it's a really easy process. I registered online. I'm sure Maggie registered online. It's not difficult at all, as long as you have your social security number, which most people have memorized. And so we were going to have them kind of register to vote there and then show us that they were registered to vote. And then I have a design for 2 different t-shirts, one for when they register and one for when they actually vote. And it would be really similar to the Dip Jewel shirts that came out a while ago. I know, Vicki, you and Jan had a lot to do with that. It would be really similar to that, just a plain white design, because I wouldn't want to have a pink shirt and boys get mad and a blue shirt and girls get mad, you know. And have it say, our first one would say, I registered, have you, and then it would have hashtag go vote MCHS. And then after we got that done, after that week, we would, people would also sign up for our Remind during that time as well. Because we have a Remind set up through, I think through my Remind account. And we have some students already signed up for it, some of our friends, but we could obviously get more. And we would send links through that would just have extremely unbiased, completely factual information about each candidate in the local, state, and general elections. Just completely 100%, they've said this is what their beliefs are, this is what they want, these are their plans, etc. So that kids, because how do I say this? A lot of people don't vote because they think that, for number one, their vote doesn't matter, but they also just don't know what each candidate is about. Like they might see, in the news something outlandish that somebody said, but they don't actually know what that person wants for our country or for our state or our community. And then we would have set up posters throughout the school, and once the primaries in May were happening, we would have had voting stations in each county, or each voting, place in each throughout the county, with t-shirts that say I voted, and we would give those to students that had the I voted sticker. And then our steps, now that this has happened, now that we have a pandemic and the primaries are pushed back and all this has happened, we're really just wanting to work with Ms. Bumps and see if she would be willing to, which I'm sure she would, send out our Remind code through her school-wide Remind to let, kids sign up for that, and mention the t-shirt thing, because I'm sure kids aren't just going to want to. And then as far as the t-shirts, we would still have them, and we would still have them designed and delivered probably to me or to Maggie's house. And then we would hand deliver them, just in sanitized bags that hadn't really been touched by anybody but us. And, they'd been washed and everything else. And then we would proceed with our step 5 of the former plans, where we would, have booths at each voting center, presuming that the primaries aren't pushed back any farther than they are now. And then we have our citations, which is really it's mostly the Kentucky government website, because that's where we got all of our statistics from. And that's all. Thank you. Is there anything else?
Ladies, are you juniors or seniors in school right now?
We're both juniors.
Juniors, okay.
Seniors.
Oh, seniors, okay.
And where will the money come from? How do you propose? Is that from selling the shirts
No, we would be getting
to be able to fund this?
Well, if we were given the grant, that would cover the cost of the shirts.
Mm-hmm.
We would give out the shirts for free, because that's really the only thing that's going to cost money throughout this entire thing.
All right. Thank you. That's very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great cause. Anybody have any other questions?
Ladies, I think it's a very noble cause, so thank you for your efforts. It's
Thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you. I also wanted to include this. A lot of people didn't know this, and I couldn't find an appropriate place to put into the slideshow, but students who are 17, as long as they will be 18 before the primary election, they can vote in the primaries and in the general. Oh no, I'm sorry. As long as they will be 18 before the general election. So as long as they will be 18 by November of 2020, then they can vote in the primary. A lot of people don't know that, and I've tried to get that message out, but that's all that we had to say, I think.
It's very,
I
very
don't have anything
good.
else to add.
Thank you, guys.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.